Here is the first story before that, and that is James Cameron. He's got a movie coming out in December, which is Avatar, the new one. But he's also working on Hiroshima. And so this is what he's talking about with the challenge of that movie. James Cameron has 2 more Avatar films on his schedule, as they say, to direct in the next few years. One other film not related to that franchise remains on his radar, Ghosts of Hiroshima. Cameron plans to use Charles Pellegrino's new nonfiction book, releasing tomorrow on the 80th anniversary of the dropping of the bomb in 1945, as the basis for a film of the same name, and will mark his first non-Avatar directorial effort since 1997's Titanic. Focuses on Susumu Yamaguchi, a Japanese man who survived the atomic blast at Hiroshima, got on a train to Nagasaki, and then survived the bombing of that city. Holy crap. Cameron previously indicated he will shoot the film as soon as his Avatar production schedule permits, most likely after Avatar Fire and Ash releases. In a new interview with Discussing Film, Cameron confirms a script has not yet been finished and believes this could well be the most difficult one to make of his career. Might be the most challenging film I've ever had to make. I don't 100% have my strategy full in place right now, how I see it, or how I want to shield people from the horror, but still be honest. Also, for how I can find some kind of poetry, beauty, or spiritual epiphany in it somehow, which I know must be there. It's there in every human story, so it's going to be challenging. I might not even be up to the task, but that never stopped me before. Cameron also cites Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan as 2 of his inspirations for capturing unsparing wartime tragedy in Ghosts of Hiroshima. Do we think, Roxy, that he's going to direct this?
Well, he said.
Yeah, I know, but he's got like 55 Avatar movies coming out.
Well, has James Cameron ever said he's going to do something he didn't do?
No.
Spider-Man.
No, he didn't say it. They were in talks. He didn't say he was going to do it. That was just they were in talks to do it. And that
I love a disgruntled Mike, just not on screen. Spider-Man. That one still hurts, Mikey.
No, I just know that that's like one of those biggest of films back in the what could have been made, didn't mean, because that got pretty far.
Yeah, got far.
And everything.
Yeah. You got it, Rox.
I think he probably will do this.
Okay.
I think that it is like the absolute most problematic and challenging topic you could take on
right now.
And not even just right now. It is such an extremely divisive, politically divisive, emotionally divisive story, movie, and there are still people alive today that are suffering the consequences of what happened. And so when he says, like, I'm not really sure how I want to do this yet, it's a little concerning to me, because I really like when filmmakers have an idea for something and then say that they're going to make it. Sounds like he's going to make this, and now he's trying to come up with an idea. And it's like, if you don't have the way you want to do this before you decide you're doing this, I don't know. It's just like, it's a tough, this isn't Titanic. This isn't a movie where it's like, you can base it on a true event, but you dramatize it and romanticize it all if you want. This is,
I think they're going to make it. I think he's going to make it more of a human story based around this guy that you see events happen. But I read it, and you very well you'd be right in how you're interpreting this. But I read it as if it was with scheduling and everything else that he's got to try to figure out of how to maneuver and make it work, because it's such a daunting task because of what you just said. Of how to do that. I think that's what he's trying. That's what, at least the way that I read it, was that he's trying to figure out how to make this work for everything that he's doing, and if he's up for the task, because it's such a important story.
And it might also just be more about like camera and technicalities of how he wants things shot. I mean, truthfully, he's, if not the greatest director of our time, he is one of the greatest directors of our time. So any movie he does, I will see. And in James Cameron, we trust. Like, he's been able to do such amazing things. But it's not like this article got me amped for Hiroshima movie. Like, this is it. I think I think even Oppenheimer struggles with the political aspects, and I love that movie, but with the political aspects and ramifications long term.
Sure.
It's a huge undertaking.
What do you think, Mike?
I kind of
that's the best
right there.
Damn it.
I'm kind of on the opposite of what Roxy said. Like, I think with a filmmaker like Cameron, you come up with, I want to do this, I'll figure out how later. Like, I think that's what he did with Avatar. He said he wanted to tell the story. The technology's not there. I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's going to get the technology there.
I think what Roxy's saying, though, is the gravity of this subject.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't disassociate whether it's technical or story. I think this guy knows what he wants to do, and he's going to find a way to get there.
It's very possible, and you and Kristian both interpreting it.
About the political ramifications of it. Like, it's kind of like whether the story of Pearl Harbor or Oppenheimer, it's like he's taking the side of, a lot of people with Oppenheimer, and I don't agree with this. It's like, well, why didn't Nolan show the other side of it where the bomb was dropped and the devastation it caused? Like, that's not the story. Those people were not involved. So I think he's taken the opposite side, and through a story that there's a book already done, I think he knows he's like, it's there. I need to do it justice. So I think that anybody who's covering this time period, it's really not about taking sides. It's about telling the truthful stories of what took place. And from what we've seen from his historical pieces, which I believe is just Titanic, right? Has James Cameron ever done another historical movie?
True Lies.
Okay. No. Is that like, okay, I'll give a like really random example, but one movie that most people from Boston can't stand is Patriots Day, which is the Mark Wahlberg dramatized Boston bombing movie, where they made up a character who was not real, who was not part of the day, and they center the day around him. And then it's like, wait, but this is a real thing that happened. And this is a real tragedy that people alive today are still dealing with.
That Mark Wahlberg character wasn't real?
No.
Oh.
Very strange choice.
Yeah.
He was like a cop that was a conglomerate of a bunch of different kinds of, but no, they like dramatized a story and no, he was not based on a real person, as opposed to the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, which was much smaller, but was based on a real person.
Great movie. That's
so how you feel about
what's the Gyllenhaal movie? Which one was that?
Him and Tatiana Maslany, right?
It was called Fight.
Stronger.
And at the end they show actual like doc footage of the day. You know, it really like did it justice. So what I mean is that this is real for so many people who are still suffering the consequences. And while Titanic, I don't think people were as precious about like who's Jack and who's Rose and are those real people and what happens. This story, I don't know it well enough to know how James Cameron's going to do it, but I think you have to do it justice because it's very real for some people, for everybody. But that's just my thought.
I think there's more than valid points here by Roxy. And in general, what do you think? James Cameron, is he going to do it justice? Is he even going to do it? How did you read the comments? Do you think that it's kind of what Roxy's saying? He doesn't know if he's got like a take on how he's going to approach it, or is it more along the lines of, hey, I just don't know where I'm going to fit it into my schedule. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.
You know, the other day someone asked me, how do you still eat well if you're really busy and you don't have the time? I'm telling you, you got a busy schedule. You got all the summer plans going on. What do you have at best? A couple of minutes? Factor really has helped me eat smarter. It's got the tasty chef prep meals. They're dietitian approved, delivered right to my door. And now the best part is they have more than like 65 weekly meals. It's made for how I live right now, what I like to eat. I've gotten more ways to get fit with a real meal wherever the day takes me. And they really zone it to what your preferences are. There's more variety. There's more meals. You can choose for a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices, salmon, shrimp. Salmon's delicious at no extra cost. Shrimp's great too, by the way. I just love the salmon. You can savor global flavors. So for the first time, you can try the Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. You can feel the difference no matter your routine. I've been doing it. You should do it too. I'm telling you, I love Factor. I've talked about it the other day. Someone asked me about it. I was raving about it. We didn't even have a spot on the show. And I was talking about how much I love Factor. So you can eat smart at factormeals.com/Kristian50off, but use that code Kristian50off. Get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That is the code Kristian50off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor.